guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christina, and in today's video I'm going to be doing sort of a June recap video and a July plans and goals video. I feel like I need to just be stuck on repeat with this, that it is late but I'm still doing it anyway. It seems to be the theme the last, like, I don't know, 4+ months, but you guys still seem to like these videos, and I still have things to check in about and chat with you guys about and share with you. And so here we are. We are a full week into July. We just had 4th of July weekend. We had so much fun at the lake with family. We had church on Sunday, which was wonderful, and just so many good things. Other than my husband's flights getting delayed and him getting stuck away for 3 extra days. But anyways, God is still good. But I wanted to share with you kind of like some things about June. I think I checked in the middle of June. So these are all over the place, but I wanted to check in anyway and talk to you about what we have coming up for the month of July. July, we are slowing down a bit with traveling. We do have a trip coming up, a beach trip, which I'm super excited about. So I'll share with you about that probably in August. But we don't have a ton of travel. We're taking a little bit of a pause. The last couple of months was like the busiest season to date for my business, filming Airbnbs and sharing about them on social media. And so we're taking a little bit of a pause. I still have tons of editing to do, and we just can use some time to sort of like regroup at home and all of that good stuff. Before I jump into what we're going to be planning for the month of July, I just have to share with you that the Brave 2025 Homeschool Conference is coming up. I'm going to put the link down in the description box below where you can see all of the speakers and topics and schedule and all of that. But I had to tell you that you actually can get free access this year, which is crazy. So if you plan to attend live, it is an online conference, but it is a live online conference. So it is not kind of like go at your own pace, although you will be able to purchase a ticket that allows you to access it after the live conference as well. So you do have that additional opportunity. But if you want to attend live, you can actually get a free ticket. So I'm going to put the link to the Brave 2025 Homeschool Conference down in the description box below so that you can check it out and you can attend and be filled up for the upcoming school year completely for free if you choose to attend live. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that. I do want to share with you a little bit of a recap of our travels. We did head back to Lake George, which we love Lake George. It is so close by for us, and I grew up going to Lake George, so it's super nostalgic for me. At the end of May, we got to see 3 different properties in the Lake George Bolton Landing area, and I shared about those. We loved them. And then we got to see the other 3 properties that Lake George Vacays has, and kind of like their family of properties. We got to go on a chartered boat tour and experience that, and it was just like a really fun time. So highly recommend those places if you're looking for a getaway in upstate New York or somewhere in the Northeast. Highly recommend Lake George Bolton Landing area, and specifically these properties hosted by Lake George Vacays, especially because they have all of these extra experiences that you can add on to make it even more fun. So things that can be set up at the home for your kids, for yourself, for everyone, excursions that you can go do like the chartered boat ride, all of that. So highly recommend them. But we also got to check out a new property, a new Airbnb in Vermont called Legacy Chalet. This one was also so beautiful. I have not even shared about this one yet on my social media, so this is like the first look at it. So it's a sneak peek. It hasn't even been shared on Instagram yet. We love this one. It's really close to Killington, like right down the road. And if you're from the Northeast, or if you're a skier or snowboarder, you've probably heard of Killington. It is like, they call it the Beast of the East. So we have been dying to make it to Killington in the winter for skiing and snowboarding. Still haven't, but we got to go there to check out some of the stuff that they have for summer. They have the adventure park, they have zip lining, they have like crazy mountain bike trails if you're into mountain biking. And there's also a really sweet short trail nearby with a waterfall and a creek, and so we checked that out. It was super hot, so it was like perfect. There's mini golf nearby, and of course we went to have maple creamies because you cannot go to Vermont and not have maple creamies. So we had a really great time in Vermont as well. I think I already shared with you our kind of like long trip through Western New York and Pennsylvania. We got to stay in a couple of tree houses. We got to check out a lake house. Another spot in the Poconos that's really close to Lake Wallenpaupack, I think I'm saying that right, was a really fun season, but we're ready to slow it down a little bit, which has been good. The last couple of weeks we've been settling back in at home, getting back into our rhythms with like doing housework together and lessons and all of those things. My 5 and 6 year olds, we've been focusing heavily on learning to read, focusing on reading skills and all of that. So we've been doing the language arts from the good and the beautiful, also their handwriting and their math. For my 9-year-old, we've still been plugging away on her math and language arts from the good and the beautiful, and we've also added in the musical multiplication app, which has been huge. I've shared before that we already were using musical multiplication. That was like the physical books along with the audio files, but now we have the app, which is awesome. We've been really liking that, and the added features that you get along with it that are not in the original version, with the being able to practice and master them within the app and stuff like that. So still keeping it very minimal with screen time, because that is just kind of how I like to keep things. We don't have TV or iPads for the kids. I have my one iPad that I use for my business and for them for different lessons, and now the musical multiplication app. So we've really been loving that. For the month of July, you can get the app for 20% off. So there are a couple of different options for how to purchase it, but I think the best one is the unlimited access. You can buy like a year access, but if you have multiple children that are going to be learning multiplication, it makes sense to just get it unlimited, like you have it forever and you have access to it forever. And for the month of July, you get that full unlimited access for 20% off. So you can't beat it. So the link is down in the description box below for that. For my 14-year-old, who is I guess a 9th grader now, which is so crazy to me, he's still plugging away on his math and language arts from the good and the beautiful. We are also finishing up the psychology unit from Gather Around Homeschool. We are sort of close to finishing up Middle Ages. We've really taken our time with those. And we're going to be starting Vikings next. So I'm guessing by the next time I meet back with you guys for another video like this, we'll have started Vikings, so I can give you some feedback on that. Let me know if you've done Vikings and what you thought about it. And then after that, we're going to be jumping into the brand new history from the good and the beautiful, and we're going to be doing that family style. So I'm really excited about that, because I haven't really had my younger kids in on the psychology or the Middle Ages. I've just been doing that more one-on-one with my 14-year-old, which has been really nice, but we'll find something else to do, just him and I, and join with everyone else for history. So that's kind of like a recap of what we've been doing. I am using a new planner. My friend Wendy sent me this planner, Wendy from Plan Pray. This is a beautiful planner. And she was like, I want to send you my planner. And I'll be honest with you, I was like, I don't know if you want to waste it on me, Wendy. I am not good being consistent with planners. I have like good intentions going into it. I love the idea of a planner. I love when people have like their pretty markers and their stickers and all their things with their planner. But I'm just not consistent. She's like, I really think it'll be a blessing to you. Let me send it. And it really has been, especially in this season of trying to like reset, regroup, all of that. It's actually been really amazing. First of all, it's just so well done. I love that it has the tabs. It has these thick laminated covers. It has this to keep it closed. I like the size of it, that it's not too small, not too big. And I like the extra things in there, because I feel like some planners have a lot of extra, but I feel like it's not stuff that I would actually use. Where this one I have been using and will use. There's also scripture all throughout it to encourage you and to encourage you to memorize scripture. It starts in July, so it's the perfect time to get it. I was really excited about that. So I was able to jump right into using it. I like that there's intentional prayer for each month, so I've started to fill that out, that there's places for different types of goal setting, so you can come up with your categories. So I've started to create goals for myself, for my marriage, for my family, and for my business. So some of the goals that I set for myself are to be praying every morning. I would say that I do pray every morning already, but they're more like brief as I'm going about my day or going about my morning. I'm praying while I'm brushing my teeth, while I'm taking a shower. Like, I really do stay in conversation with God, but like, I really want to make sure like in the morning I'm setting aside time just for prayer. So I want to be more intentional about that, as well as like Bible reading every morning. I get stuck in this excuse that like, because I work from my phone and I don't want to be on my phone all the time when my kids are up, I'm like, no, I get up early to work so I can try to be done by the time that they wake up and I'm not sitting on my phone. And then I'll do my Bible study because I would much rather them see me on my Bible, in my Bible, than on my phone. But I still do believe that, but like the reality is it's less likely for it to happen if I don't do it first thing, because then they wake up and they're hungry or they want attention. And like, you can still read the Bible during giving them attention and include them in on it, but I can always read it again in front of them or with them or finish it. But I really want to like set that time aside in the morning to make sure I'm doing that. And it also ties into the fact that I want to do devos in the morning at least 3 times a week with my husband. Sometimes he leaves so early for work that I just like don't get up. But instead of setting it for every day that we need to do that, I would really like to do it 3 times a week, because when we do it, it really makes a big difference. Like having that time to read the word together and pray together and just having that time alone in the morning is so important. And then I also just put like intentional time together, because he works so much and I'm with the kids so much that when he's not working, to give me a break and allow me to work, like he's with the kids, takes them out and has fun, and he's an amazing dad. But I want to make sure that we're getting that time together too. It's just like a harder season right now than it has been in some other seasons to get that time. So I put that down as well. And then also back to me, I want to be exercising daily. I've actually gotten in a really good habit and rhythm of exercising more, and I'm actually really proud of myself, but I credit it more to my amazing health and wellness coach, Evgenia. I've talked to you guys about her before. She's at Nourished Motherhood on Instagram. She has amazing free resources for like nutritional health, physical health, mental health, like specifically for homeschool moms, which is amazing because we're not getting tips from someone who doesn't actually understand our lifestyle. She's a homeschool mom, and that is who she is like sharing this information specifically for. And she also has one-to-one coaching, group coaching. She'll do like boot camps. She's amazing. And she's been such an encouragement to me and has really helped me build like better habits. I still have so many goals in that area, like making sure I'm hitting my water goals, which continues to be a struggle for me, but things like moving my body, walks, I still want to do more often. And that is something that I put down in here under family goal setting, because I really would love to do more family walks. We used to do this more often, but I really, especially now that the weather is allowing, want to try to do it at least a few times a week, minimum 1 night a week. So that is something that I put down for a family goal. But like walking is something that I need to do better. But like being able to get on the app and do the 10-minute workouts that she's loaded for me in there already, like there's no thinking. I don't have to search a workout. I don't have to make a decision. I literally just click it and start, has made a huge difference for me. So I want to stay consistent with that and become more consistent with that, and also weave in like the family walks as a way to like have that time together as a family, build healthy habits as a family, but then also hit my like walking goals. So for my business, I have tons of things that I could talk about with that. But the main thing at the top of that list right now is like getting back to my podcast. I have totally neglected it, and I want to jump back into that. So let me know if there are like certain topics you'd like to see me touch on in my podcast or even in my regular YouTube videos. I have to decide moving forward if I'll continue posting the video of the podcast here on my channel, as well as just in like the podcast platforms, because they really don't get great views on my channel. And so I don't know if it hurts my channel in terms of like you guys not seeing my other videos, because those views affect things. Like, I don't know. A lot of that stuff is over my head. But those are some of my goals for July. Really prioritizing like peace in our home and like rest alongside being productive, like productivity and rest, like having a good balance. Hi, sweet girly. And I'm going to think about for each of the kids what specific academic goals, and even just like beyond academic, like spiritual goals for them, relational goals, those kinds of things. So I'll do that with them. I love the weekly spread because it's simple, but it also has more sections than my previous one did, which is super helpful. So I was able to put like each of my 4 kids that are still homeschooling, because my oldest graduated, if you missed that. And then I have group for the littles, meaning my youngest 3. And then group for all. So things that I'm doing like with just my youngest 3, and then things that I'm doing with just everyone. And then as you can see, that same pattern, like you have this for each week, and then you have the weekly like at a glance, and then you have where you can break it up for like subjects or kids. I chose to do it breaking up for each of my kids, and then I just write in there what they did. And I do a mix of like planning and backwards planning. So I'll write down things that I want them to do that day. Like I started, but I didn't finish yet for this week. And then if they complete them, I check them off. If they don't, I shift them to the next day. If we end up doing things that I hadn't written down yet, then I write it down and check it off. So I kind of do a mix of both. And then there's like a little notes section. So these are some of the things that I want us to make sure that we touch on that I didn't necessarily plug in yet. So I'm really liking this. It's helping me to feel organized. I did start reading this as a read aloud with just my younger 3, and they're really enjoying this. So right now, especially, read alouds are like a huge part of our homeschool, especially because we have been focusing like fairly heavily on everyone's independent work in terms of like math and language arts, and just kind of like really being in a good rhythm with that. And so we haven't done a ton of group learning in the last couple of months. It's more read alouds that we've been doing as kind of like our group time, like devotions and read alouds. So I want to show you what I have planned or intended for read alouds for the next few weeks. So we will be jumping back into reading some of the Tuttle Twins books. We've read all of this 12-book series other than these 3 books, 9, 11, and 12. We did read 10, but these are focusing on the stock market, fear-mongering, Trojan horses, things like that. So really opening their eyes to civic responsibility and different things like that in the Tuttle Twins series. They have so many more books that I would love to dive into, but I wanted to at least finish the ones that we have. So if you're interested in those, I will link the Tuttle Twins books below. We've really enjoyed the ones that we've read so far. I today am actually going to be ordering the 3rd book in the Little Pilgrim's Big Journey series. We finished books 1 and book 2 and the coloring books that come along with them. And I want to get the 3rd book because my kids have loved them, and we've actually done these as a family, reading 1 chapter a night during like our evening family devotional time. And the coloring books are beautiful. They're like sketches of the actual illustrations for the kids to color along with. And I'm also going to grab the Man Soul Chronicles book 1. So I'm really excited about those. Right now, Lithos Kids is having its 5th anniversary sale. So I have an exclusive code to get 50% off. So I will be personally using my code. It is Rooted50. I'll also put it down in the description box below if you want to check out their amazing resources. They are these beautifully illustrated, adapted versions of classics like The Pilgrim's Progress, as well as devotions that have like the Kingdom of God storybook. There's the Wisdom of God, which goes through Proverbs. There's just beautiful books for spiritual growth and pouring into our children in ways that engage them and make it easy for them to understand. So definitely check out Lithos Kids. Now is the time during this sale. 50% off is a crazy deal for these beautiful resources. I'm also going to be letting my kids choose between these 2. We're either going to read The Cross Triumphant or Little Threads. These I got from Generations Ministries. They sent these to me and highly recommended both of them. It looks like this one is going to be like a little bit longer, maybe for older kids. So maybe we'll do this one first, but I'm gonna let them decide. Maybe I'll read like the first chapter of each of them to them and let them decide which one they're most interested in. That's like my favorite way to like get them excited about a book, even a book that I may want them to read independently. If they're not showing a ton of interest, I may read the first chapter aloud to them to kind of like pique their interest, and then sometimes it works for them to grab it because they want to know what happens in the story or they get interested in it. So I think that is everything that I wanted to share with you guys. I feel like I always remember later like that there was something I want to share that I didn't. But I will be back next week to share a new resource that I'm super excited to share, but I can't share yet, so be on the lookout for that. If you want to follow up with us more like day to day, you can follow us over at Rooted_Home Life if you're not already following us on Instagram. If you have any video or podcast requests, just put them down in the comments, and I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos. Until next time, stay rooted.